All right, so why is Jesus the only way to God is what we're going to discuss today. The tension most people feel, but they don't say, is there's something most people believe, but almost nobody really slows down and thinks it through. And I want you to sit with this for just a second. We like the idea that everything can be true at the same time. The different beliefs all lead to the same place, and that sincerity is just enough. And honestly, that sounds pretty good. But until the truth actually matters. We're going to get into that in a second. Now stay with me here, because in just a minute, this is going to connect directly to something Jesus said that most people struggle with. If two people give you directions to a place you've never been, and they gave you completely different routes, different directions, both of them might sound very confident. Both of them might genuinely be very sincere and believe that they're saying the right thing. But one of them's sending you to the wrong place. That's the difference. We can sound very sincere. We can do the best that we can do, and we can still be sending people to the wrong place. And that's what society's going through. Sincerity and confidence don't make them both right. And when you actually need to get somewhere, you don't want sincerity. You want accuracy. And this is where everything starts to shift. Because Jesus didn't say, I'll show you a way. John 14:6 says, I am the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. He said, I am the way. Now don't rush past this, because in just a few minutes we're going to see why he would make a claim that specific. And why it actually matters more than most people realize. Truth, by nature, is exclusive. Can't be both ways. Truth is truth. It excludes something. This is where most people start to feel tension. Because the idea that Jesus is the only way sounds restrictive to them. It feels unfair to them. It feels narrow to them. But let's slow that down, because this matters more than we think. But truth, by its nature, is exclusive. And before you push back on that, let me show you why. Imagine that two different doctors look at your x-rays, and they give you two completely diagnoses. One says, you're completely fine, everything's okay. And the other says, there's something seriously wrong here. We need to take care of this now. Pause there for a minute. You're fine, everything's okay. We've got to fix this now. Same x-ray, two different opinions, two different doctors. Both very sincere. Both believe they're honestly telling you the truth. But you got to pause there with that visual. Because in that moment, you don't really care how con they are. You only care about one thing. One thing. Who's telling you the truth? Who's right? Because if the guy telling you everything's bad and he's wrong, and you start cutting stuff off or cutting stuff out, didn't need to happen. If the guy's saying it's fine and you got problems and you needed to get it cut out, and they don't cut it out and bad things start to happen, truth matters. So the question you got, which one's telling the truth? And this is where most people don't realize something. When the stakes are low, options feel pretty comforting. But when the stakes are high, options become frustrating and you want truth. Wow. If truth matters in every other area of your life, why would it suddenly not matter when it comes to God? Now this is where it connects back to Jesus. Because he didn't claim to be a way. He claimed to be the way. Which means either that's true or it isn't. Acts 4:12 has this. And there is salvation in no one else. Talking about Jesus. In a minute, we're going to see why that claim isn't about arrogance. It's about something much deeper. The world offers options. Jesus offers resolution. Results. Solutions. That's what resolution is. Now let's go a little deeper here. Because this is where most people misunderstand this whole conversation. The world approaches spirituality like this. Find what works for you. Choose what feels right. Follow your own path. And at first, man, that sounds free. But don't miss this. That approach assumes the problem is because of an unclear direction. What if the problem is deeper than that? What if we don't need just options? What if we actually need a resolution? Something to solve our problem. Not just options. Let me show you what I mean. Think about someone buried in debt. Way in debt. Don't know where the next penny's going to come from. They're in debt. A real solution that can remove it is the only thing they really need. They don't need to be taught how to move it around. Man, the world does that, don't you? Well, if you put it on that credit card for 12 months, you ain't got to worry about the interest. So just put it over here. If you open this bank account, you can put it over here. You don't have to worry about this. And you just move it around and you just keep playing games with it. It's not solving the problem. You still got the debt. Just delay it. Just keep calling them up. Man, can I get another extension before you start pounding on me or sending me to jail? What are you? Can I please? We just delay it. I don't know about you. I know people that see that envelope come or that email show up knowing that this is your monthly payment of X blah blah blah, and we go delete. If it ain't there and I don't see it, it must not be real. Or that envelope, if I don't open it, maybe they won't notice that I looked at it. They throw it in the trash or stick it in the hidden pile over there. Or you try to teach them how to manage it. You know, the first of the month you should do this, and the end of the month you should do that, in the middle you should do that. But she really didn't give them a solution. The solution is stop spending on the stupid card. If you can't afford it, don't use the card. Because the dollar is going to be $1.50 or $1.30. Or if you don't pay that dollar off fast enough, it could be $30 off a stinking candy bar that you bought because you just had to have it. But see, debt until it's actually dealt with, it's still there. And spiritually, the Bible describes sin the same way. I can put the smile on. I can come to church. I can go to Bible study. I can read. I can pray. But until we let Jesus deal with it, it's still there. We need the solution, and Jesus is the solution. Romans 6:23 says, "For the wages of sin is death." It will destroy us. Now here's the question, but don't answer it too quickly. What actually deals with the sin? Not explains it. Not manages it. But deals with it. What actually deals with that sin? What if more options just don't help? Go through the list of things in your mind that you've tried to fix something. Well, they say if I try this. If they say if I try this. The friend over there said try this. And this friend said try this. And this friend starts this. You're trying to manage it, but you ain't solved the problem. What if the options, they just delay the moment you have to face the truth? Whew. This is where last week becomes really important. If you weren't here, or you want to go back and sit with it again, it's actually worth revisiting last week. Because we talked about why Jesus had to be fully human and fully God. If he's fully human, he understands the problem. If he's fully God, he has the authority to solve it. And that's not just a side idea. That's the foundation for everything we're talking about right now. Which means Jesus isn't offering you another option. He's offering you resolution, which is a solution. Whew. 1 Timothy 2:5 says that there's only one mediator, and that's Jesus. The word mediator is going to matter even more as we keep going this week. Jesus is the only way. This isn't arrogance, but it's very specific. Now, this is where people usually start to push back a little bit. You can talk about Jesus all you want to them. You can talk about how good he is. But when you say, he's the only way, not your way, not that religion's way or that religion's way or that religion's way, Jesus is the only way. I start pushing back. Isn't that arrogant? But think about this for a second. Jesus didn't say his followers were better. He didn't say we're better than anybody else. He made the claim about himself. He was the way. His way. He's the truth. He will give us true life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Now let me give you a picture, and don't miss this. If a building's on fire and someone yells, "There's one way out! Follow me!" That's not arrogance. That's clarity. In a world of smoke and mirrors, people need more clarity. It would actually be pretty cruel to say, you know what, guys? Building's on fire. But find your own way out. There may be more than one door in this building. I don't know. The windows may or may not open, and I don't know. I don't care. Do your own thing. But you got 30 seconds to figure it out, or you're going to burn and die. But do your own thing. Well, we got people in our life that we know. The people that you wrote up on that board. The names that aren't on that board yet. The neighbors, the co-workers. You're doing the same thing. Your life's going to be on fire forever. But it's okay. Take whichever way you want to get there. We don't pray for them. We don't invite. We don't offer solutions that are true and clear. We don't show them the way. We're basically saying, here's the gas. Here's the match. You might as well get used to it now. Whew. And that's the gravity of what we walk into every day in our daily life. There's people, when we do not listen to the Holy Spirit, or we do not invite, or we do not ask them how they're doing and pray over them, we might as well have the sign say, here you go. Hope it's not too hot for you. Because you're going to be burning for eternity. Wow. The name you put on that board that Pastor asked us to put on there so that we could pray for them to come and give their life to Christ eventually. Do you have that vivid picture in your mind? Or was it, I'll give them another option. You can come to my church. You can come to our service. You can come hear our pastor. You can come to this building. It's just another thing in your life. Or are we so serious about our walk with God that we know without a shadow of doubt, and we can explain without a shadow of doubt? That's what this Bible study is all about. That's what these videos are all about, that we can explain without a shadow of a doubt. We know we have the way that tells the truth to give them a life, the life. Or do we like, we're just like the world in the opposite. Do your thing. Follow your own path. It's okay. So in the burning building, if we told them to do all those things, it would actually be cruel to say, just pick whichever way feels right to you. Because not every path leads out. How many tragedies in history? People have got crushed trying to get out the wrong door because it was locked. And the bodies kept smashing in and crushing people by the hundreds because the thousands of people tried to get out the wrong way. What if the claim of Jesus isn't about excluding people? It's about guiding people to what actually works. Wow. I don't know about you, but you are the greatest advocate for the greatest restaurant, the best meal, your favorite movie. Man, that song really spoke to me. You are the greatest advocate, and you'll tell everybody in the world about that great thing that happened. You won't believe I just won. I just got this. You won't believe, man, this movie was amazing. You got to go see it. That song, I don't know how they wrote it. I don't know what they did, but boy, it made me cry like tears. You need to listen to it. It is amazing. Man, you need to go to this place because that way I would have never thought if you put this and that together. I thought when I tried it, I was like, this is going to be nasty because these two things don't go. But it was the best you ever had. You got to try it. And we rave over it and rave over it and rave over it. We can't wait to tell the next person. We tell everybody. But Monday morning, or when you go out to eat lunch this afternoon, what'd you do this weekend? What'd you say, Chris? I didn't hear you. Take your hand over your mouth. I went to church Sunday. Well, I don't want to follow that. That's how I was excited about church. But I remember when he was talking about that song or his days when he was in the military. Woo! That's where I want to be. I want to church Sunday. And they're obviously not making much of a difference if he's going, I want to church Sunday. God's transforming us. He's transforming people. People are coming by the droves. People are getting changed and transformed. Life's being changed. The way is the only way. Truth is being told. I may not like it. It may step on my feet, but truth is being told. And my life is getting better because I'm starting to listen to that truth that steps on my feet, and that's the only way my life gets better. You got to go to this place. John 1:12 says, but to as many as did receive him. Jesus has an invitation that is wide open. And the path is very specific. And this is sometimes and something we're actually going to keep coming back to this week. Because the idea, what actually leads to life versus what just sounds right, isn't something we hear once and move on from. We got to hear it again and again and again and again until it just comes out of us like that favorite song we're sharing. We need reminders. We forget. Life gets busy and we forget. We need to come back to it again and again and again. That's why I record these things. For everybody out there all over the world that's watching, for anyone in here that goes, man, that spoke to me. Let me dig into a little deal. Let me pause here. Let me rewind. Let me listen here. Let me just saturate this. That's why I do the little devotions when I can. Let me listen to that 1 or 2, 3, 5, 7 minutes explaining what he talked about Sunday in a different way. But let me just listen. And I just saturate myself till it becomes a part of me. So take a few short moments this week to revisit this from a different angle. Study the scriptures yourself. Get those scriptures. What's John 14:6 say? Dig it out. But what's the real question that we avoid? Because there is one that most people do avoid. Here's where it gets very personal. And this is where people start to drift if they're not careful. So stay with me here. Most people don't reject something because they've proven it to be false. They reject it because it challenges what they already believe. Wow. Grandma taught me this and this must be true. What if who told Grandma was wrong? For 40 years, Grandma believed the wrong thing, and so does the children, and so do you if you're the grandkid. Man. They're sincere, remember? They earnestly believe it's truth. But when you open Scripture up in front of them and go, ain't what Jesus said, ain't what Paul said, ain't what the Bible says. Well, I don't care. Just the way our family's been forever. We're just going to live that way. It don't matter. Are they following the way? They definitely ain't following the truth. So is their life going to be okay? Maybe here they'll be okay. What are they going to do when they stand in front of Jesus? I don't know. I'm glad he's a gracious God. Maybe they said enough to go, let you barely get in, but you get in. Hopefully it ain't, no, you were far off on that truth enough that I didn't know you. And we give them the gas. We give them the match because we didn't challenge them. Grandma, show me where that says that in Scripture. It's in there somewhere. Well, this is what I found, and it says opposite of what you said. And it's in red. That means Jesus said it. Can't argue that. Can't argue Paul, but we'll try because Jesus didn't say it. But I guarantee you Paul got it from Jesus, so he'll tie it back to him in red somewhere. Remember what it says? I ain't worried about that. Well, you 5 or 6 weeks down the road and you give her 5 or 6, I'm like, Mom, come on now. There's 6 examples. They don't reject it because of challenge. They only reject it because it challenges some of their belief. Let me show you how this works. I've done this. So I bet you've done it. And unfortunately, you ladies have probably done it more than us guys. So, yeah. So, you're driving down the road. That little light comes on the dash. Engine light. What's the first thing you do? Oh my God, I got to pull over. Oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on? No. First thing you do is turn the radio up. Keep on going. The louder the music is, the less the light shines. Come on, let's go. You just drive down the road. Yeah. The warning light comes on in your car. You see it. You know the truth. The truth is the light is on. There's something that this car does not like, whether it's major or minor. It didn't like it. Whether it's lying to you or it's not, it didn't like it. The light came on. You see it. You know it's there. But instead of dealing with it, you turn the radio up and just keep on going. Now, it isn't because you had to keep going because you were in the middle of nowhere. You just passed 7 of those AutoZones that Chris talked about. Your favorite auto repair shop that you don't like to go to because it costs you money. And you just kept on going. You didn't call someone up and say, hey, you have an idea of what this car, why'd this come on? I don't know. You got that little box thing that you plug in somewhere and it might tell us what's going on. Yeah, I'll see you next week. Not because you think it's wrong. You know the light came on for a reason. You just ignored it. Because you don't want to deal with it. Is why you ignored it. You stacked the pile of bills over here because you don't want to open them, because then I'll feel worse, because then I'll see that I owe. At least with the envelopes closed, I think I owe something, but I don't want to know total because it's going to be really bad. I'll just keep it over there. I'm not opening that email. That car engine light, I'm just going to leave it there. You know what? I'm going to get some tape. I'm going to cover it up. Then I can't see it. You knew you wasn't thinking it was wrong, but because you didn't want to deal with it and what it might mean. Is that why people fight so hard when we start talking to them about Christ? Because the enemy has got them so disorientated, so confused, so distracted in life that they've watched you grow and they know it's a good thing for you and it would be a good thing for them, but they've got so used to life the way it is, I'm not going to deal with it. I've seen when you took care of that same situation that I'm in, your life got much better. So the warning sign was your life. And now it's flashing in front of me. I can't even be friends with you anymore because every time I look at you, it makes me feel worse. Because you dealt with it. You've allowed life to change you and get better. But if ignoring the truth doesn't remove it, what if just delaying doesn't remove it and we just have to face it at some point, at some time? Why not take care of it now? Because if we leave the warning light on long enough, it's only going to get worse. But don't miss this. Because this is where Jesus leaves no middle ground. Matthew 7. And if you read 13 and 14, it says this one little phrase in those two scriptures. Enter through the narrow gate. Narrow gate. This isn't about restriction. It's about reality. Remember last week, he was the only one that walked like us as a human. So he knows how we feel and knows the challenges and struggles we go through. So he can relate to us. And he also was the only one that was truly God. So he has the power to and the authority to change us and give us a hope and a resolution. But it's fascinating. The world says all paths lead somewhere meaningful. But Jesus says there's a specific way that leads to true life. The world likes to say truth is personal. Well, if Dwayne's personal truth is that when he considers you a friend or likes you, he punches you in the face just as hard as he can every time he sees you. I don't like that truth. That's not truth to me. I'm not going to be his friend. I don't want to be your friend. Instead of, let's handshake. Can't do that. My dad told me to punch people in the face. I know that's how we're friends. He used to do that to me all the time, so I know he loved me. You may be a little twisted. But Jesus says, I am the truth. The world says, find your own way. I don't know. Pick any city you've never been to and it's that way somewhere. Leave your phone at home. Leave the maps at home. And just get in your car and see if you can find it. Every time you stop and get gas, you're going to be like, how do I get to Sacramento, California? You know it's going to take 3 or 4 days. But every time you stop and get the gas, well, you shouldn't have took 95 south for 400 miles to begin with, so you wasted a day. You need to go west. And you get in your car and you start driving again. How do I get to Sacramento, California? Well, you shouldn't have taken 81 north. And you're in Canada right now. You should have been west. And you're lost. Because you're not following the path. You're just going somewhere. You're hoping for the best. But I'm finding my own way. I got this. I can get there. But Jesus says, I am the way. So now we come back to the question. Why is Jesus the only way? Because the only one who truly understands our human condition fully and has the authority to actually resolve it. Not one of many. The only one who qualifies. And now this becomes personal. Not just, do I agree with this? But what am I going to do with it? Don't just leave here today and think about it maybe as you get to the door and forget about it as you're going across the parking lot into the building. Don't just, those watching it, think about it for 30 seconds. Man, that hit me. That really hit me hard. I like this. And then you turn the video off and you forget. But wrestle with it this week. Sit with it again and again and again until you go, Jesus, you are the way. I accept that. You are the truth. I need your help helping me accept some of the truth that the enemy has taught me not to believe, and I got to change my ways. I've got to be more bold standing in front of people when they're against the truth. I need you to take control of my life so that I can live your life, the life that gives me peace, joy, happiness. The fruit of the Spirit can flow through me, and I don't have the struggles and the anxieties and the pain and everything that life keeps throwing at me. I want to live your way, because your way sounds a whole lot like Yeshua. your way. We need to get back to the Christmas season a little bit, even though it's only March. Emmanuel, God with us. If he's with me, what do you want me to do? If he's with me, where do you want to go? If he's with me, what are we doing next? If he's with me, who do you need me to talk to? Because sometimes the most important truths in our lives aren't the ones we hear once. They're the ones we return to until they actually take root. And next week, we'll bring this all the way into real life. What does it actually mean when we say we follow Jesus? Because once you understand who he is and why he's the only way, the next question becomes, what does that change for me? What does he change with me? What does he change in me? That's the big question next week. See you next time.